We live in Brooklyn, baby. We live in Brooklyn, baby.
I'm sorry, I thought this was the age of technology and digital. You just skipping? Was the record skipping there, Abe?
You do that on purpose. I thought that was kind of nice. You did that on purpose? Wait. Wait a second. So digitally, how the fuck did that happen?
Files corrupted.
The files messed up.
Yeah, the internet. I don't know, something with the computer. I don't know. Skip the track.
Oh, that shit sounded.
And this is how we welcome our audience back into the new year.
2014.
Welcome, folks. Insanity Check here.
And it's insanely cold outside for you New Yorkers out there.
So
People
New
in
Yorkers,
America, period.
yeah, everywhere. Hey, Florida, how you liking that 32 degrees?
32 degrees in Florida. People in Chicago and Minnesota, places like that. It's unsafe to even come outside. They say skin freezes in minutes. And one place they're like 10 minutes exposure, improperly dressed, and you're just like, you're out of here, you're dead. So, yeah, this is serious. And they said, what, a wind chill we got down to, what, 17?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so right now I just checked my joint a few seconds ago, and it said we were at 8 just a few minutes ago without the wind chill. So it was at 8 degrees, and then God only knows what that's going to be with the chill. So, you know.
Hence the fluffy attire we're rocking today.
And you know what? I was going to shave and shit for the New Year's, but I was like, you know what, man? Fuck that. this beard shit actually helps, believe it or not. So the hell with that. But yeah, so Happy New Year's to everybody. And all that good shit. What else been going on in the world? I mean, outside of this monumentally, terribly cold, you know, it's but you know what? Since we're on the cold, before we even get to the other story, because this was something that I just ran into, I guess minutes before I got here. So I'm reading this for the first time, but it sort of shows you exactly how cold it is. It says it's so cold that an escaped convict turned himself in. Robert Vick seriously picked the wrong week to escape from jail. Vick 42 broke out of a minimum security prison in Lexington, Kentucky, only to find himself on the lam with only prison-issued khaki pants, a shirt, and a jacket in the middle of a polar vortex. With nowhere to take shelter, Vick quickly froze when the record-breaking cold in Lexington, where temperatures dropped to 20 below zero with the wind chill.
Damn.
That's basically like out here. That's 3 degrees. Hypothermic and out of options, he walked into a motel Monday and asked the clerk if he could use the phone to call the cops. He told the police he wanted to turn himself in to escape the freezing air and told them where to find him. This was definitely of his own volition, Lexington police spokeswoman Cheryl Roberts said. It's cold out there. Too cold to run around, and I can understand why the suspect would turn himself in. The local fire department treated Vick for hypothermia Monday night, and though police haven't answered questions regarding his whereabouts Tuesday, one assumes he's headed straight back to Blackburn Correctional Center. Vick had been serving a 6-year sentence for burglary and criminal possession of a forged instrument when he escaped. Kind of puts the punishment cold in perspective, and it's true. I mean,
you know, the funny thing is, I'm wondering now.
Why didn't you just stay at the hotel?
Well, not that you didn't have any money, I'm sure, so you wouldn't be able to stay there.
It would be as cold as ice.
You know, I wonder if he had. Well, I guess if he had any knowledge of what the weather was like, he wouldn't have done it then, because all he had to do was make it for like 36 hours. This as Skillet said, this is like some type of polar vortex. That's what they're calling it.
Whatever the hell they calling this shit.
Which basically means that this shit usually hangs out around the Antarctic every year in wintertime. It's nothing special, but this year, for whatever reason, the whole thing expanded and came down to North America. But it's only going to last like 36 hours. So if he could have held out somewhere for 36 hours, he could have got warmed up and he was on his way. But
yeah, that's messed up that he didn't have no friends. But then again, he couldn't go to anybody he knows, because obviously that would be the first place they would, you know, would cat. I mean, maybe he could have shacked up with some chick. Who knows what? But I mean, that's because you know they're gonna give him more time.
Oh yeah.
So he was doing 6, so obviously he's going to do more. But I mean, it's like the thing is said, it's bad enough voluntarily for a prisoner to go back into jail, and you know, imagine what Chicago's homeless are feeling. It's 2 below zero there before it's 2 below zero in Chicago before the wind chill, and the city has 21,000 homeless people with nowhere to go. So they apparently, you know, I remember at times in New York City's history, I'm pretty sure it was the same last night and early today. They had to arrest their homeless. You know, especially if you're a belligerent homeless man that's like, you know, this is my box, damn it, I'm not leaving it. No, you're going to get arrested, and you're going to go in that warm cell and then come out afterwards. So, I mean, that's like, it's real fucking cold out here. That's basically the moral of that. It's fucking cold out here.
Damn. Oh well. But we're going to be switching gears. Yeah.
Are we now?
Yeah. I don't have any snappy connection for this one, so we're just going to go in it raw. Oh shit, I'm on the wrong story.
Motherfucker, yeah, I guess you don't know snappy shit because you don't know what the fuck you are.
This one has been making its way around the internet and the news lines and everything else. Houston man faces jail time for overpaying child support and visiting his son too much.
As a matter of fact, before you even go there, because I would like the people to see this. We didn't have a time to prep, obviously, for this, but that is on YouTube, is it not? Just this
yes.
particular piece there. Engineer, to pull something up on YouTube, how long will it take you in real world time? 5 minutes? Okay, so I mean, because we can come back.
Yeah, but it's like a 16, it's almost a 17-minute piece.
No, motherfucker. Just the first part when they interviewed him. What shit you looking at? Because they're the one that I saw, they just interviewed him real quick.
That you gave me, bitch.
Yo, man, ain't gonna be no more bitches in 2014, man. Well, I mean, because I kind of wanted them to see what this man looks like, because it's, to me, when you think of a deadbeat dad, not that it has I guess a look, a cliched look or whatever, but I mean,
his pants ain't dragging on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I guess you could be a deadbeat no matter what, but I mean, just the way this guy, composed himself and acquitted himself, it just made the story more hard hitting for me. It was just more horrible. But I mean, we'll just tell the motherfucker what the name of the story is anyway. If you can find
it's called Houston Man Faces Jail Time for Overpaying Child Support.
Yeah, you heard that, dude?
So if you can get it,
if you can get it, if you can, yeah.
We'll put a snippet
put it
up on YouTube.
So go ahead, man, because this is some. Well, this is a real person. I take this very personally because, well, you go ahead, your point. I have my stuff. What I want to say.
Well, so basically, Clifford Hall says he's more than happy to pay child support for his 11-year-old son. I'm his father, and it's my responsibility to take care of him. Novel idea. But Hall says that the amount of child support was modified and no one told him. I discovered for some reason his employer was withholding a large amount some weeks and a small amount some weeks, zero amount some other weeks. Hall says, I didn't want to go to jail, basically.
Says his attorney, what's it, Taisha Elam. Yes, that's
so Hall quickly paid the amount of $3,000 in back child support. When Hall and his ex-wife were in Judge Lisa Millard's court last November, he owed nothing. Opposing counsel testified twice that he's all paid up.
And just to make it clear, the reason, because it said, in back child support, that sounds like he had like a past history. No, it was because the bureaucratic nonsense of changing the payout schedule and it was directly withdrawn from his account. It was being fucked up on someone else's end. So when he realized, wait a second, I don't want to be in arrears, he immediately paid the $3,000. So it wasn't like he had like a history of slacking or whatever. It was just they wasn't taking the money out properly. So he took the initiative to take control and to pay up and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. But the attorney representing the child's mother wanted Hall to pay her $3,000 in attorney's fees, and Judge Millard agreed. Court documents also reveal Hall wasn't following the court's scheduled times to pick up his son for visitation. Another modification Hall says he knew nothing about. The judge ended up sentencing him to 6 months in jail. When she said, I remand you to the Harris County Jail for 180 days, my mouth just dropped, says Hall. This entire substitute situation is shocking to me. Community activist, blah, 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 blah. The court failed the child. Okay, so that's basically the crux of what happened. So we're led to believe in this country that, and again, we're not making excuses for the actual deadbeats that's out there. We're not making excuses for the scum that just drops loads in these dumb bitches' bellies and then walks out 3, 4, 5 times and they just can't get the picture. We're not making excuses for them. They should be fucking in jail. They should get all their shit taken, blah, 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 blah. When you have an individual who is clearly making an effort to do the right thing, which should be the normal thing, by the way, what's happening here? As he says, well, this was blown up on the internet by Tommy Sotomayor. Still kind of put a little Spanish twist on his name. Don't know why.
Sotomayor.
But if you see his video, he actually makes some excellent points. And I don't know if this is true because don't have kids, don't have child support. But you can't pay child support when you're in jail. Okay? So the kid's not getting any money.
The kid's not getting any
definitely
money.
not going to see his father because his father's going to be in jail for 180
Because the
days.
bitch wanted the $3,000.
Yeah, so she wouldn't have to pay her lawyer.
You know, what the fuck is she paying? I mean, why did she haul him in there in the first place? See, that's the whole thing. How does this benefit the child? This is one of my biggest fears. I don't have children. I would love to have them. But this is always something that's, you know, I've heard too many horror stories. But yeah, it is very sad. One of the saddest things ever. But I've heard too many horror stories about men being raked over the coals. I mean, decent men, not the date, like you said, the detritus that just wants to, you know, shoot and bust off and leave. No, I'm talking about the guys that actually want to be a major contributor to their child's lives. The child is being, you know, used against them as a weapon because obviously a woman, unless she's like some MMA Amazon, can't beat up a dude or whatever like that. So where do you hit him, man? You hit him where he loves, which is his children. You could use them as weapons. And this is a situation where, you know, like you said, how does this possibly serve the child? But then how many times have we heard stories where, you know, a mother will tell the child, yo, daddy ain't shit, he's not here because he doesn't love you, or some sorts of bullshit. But then as the child grows up, it's like, wait a minute, that wasn't the truth. And you have a child, you know, replacing anger and animosity towards one parent with resentment for another one because of stupid stuff that has nothing to do with the child's welfare when, you know, I guess their relationship breaks down. And I didn't even know all of this other stuff that, you know, the mother of what TJ Sotomayor was saying was true, that, you know, if a guy obviously becomes a millionaire, his payout becomes, it increases. But if he is downgraded and he loses his job, it doesn't go down in proportion to what his current pay rate is. And also, if a woman marries, you know, afterwards marries a millionaire, she still, you know, the man is still the one that has to dole out. So that's crazy. So this guy,
and the other one, and the flip side of that, again, if we don't know because we haven't had any personal experience with this, but if this is indeed fact, if the dude gets married, they still try to jack up the money because now they're like, oh well,
that's two incomes.
Yeah, he's having more income, so he can afford to pay more.
So if the guy marries a doctor or a lawyer, now his wife has to be a contributing force and contributing monetary factor to his child support. Yet if the mother marries, let's say, LeBron James, and automatically she goes from being worth $70,000 a year to $70 million a year or whatever the hell, her pay scale, her payout it doesn't change. I mean,
hey, do you know if any of this is true at all? I mean, this is incredible to me, and this system is so fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, you know, another thing to add to that is also if the female marries and then divorces her husband, even if the kid wasn't his, she can take him to court for child support. So you marry a female with a kid, even though the kid isn't yours, if you get divorced, she can take you to court for child support.
Just like if the bitch lies and said it's your kid, if you don't find out that the truth, after like 2 or 3 years, you're still on the hook for the next 15 years until that kid is 18.
Because I thought it's 21 now. Whatever it is,
way
it's totally
too
unfair.
fucking long.
Whatever it is,
right?
totally
because for the child's benefit, because the child now has grown attachment to you, so you now have to show your love by paying a bitch instead of breaking a bitch's back. You have to now pay her for the child. This, however, doesn't seem to be benefiting the child, but these motherfuckers don't seem to care.
And see, I don't know.
The clip, by the way, too. Whenever you're ready, the clip.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you want to just show that?
Yeah, let's run that. We're gonna go out on this because we gotta take a break. We're gonna run this and look at this shit.
Yeah.
Well, a Houston father is facing 180 days in jail for overpaying his child support and over-visiting his 11-year-old son. His attorney and a community activist are now demanding answers. Randy Wallace joins us live with a story you'll see only on Fox. Randy?
Don, we all expect to see judges throw the book at fathers who fail to pay child support. But a father who says he's been doing the right thing now has an arrest warrant against him.
It's my responsibility to take care of it. You know, I brought him in this world, I have to.
Clifford Hall says he's more than happy to pay child support for his 11-year-old son.
I'm his father. It's my responsibility to take care of it.
But Hall says when the amount of child support was modified, no one told him.
And I discovered that for some reason his employer was withholding a large amount some weeks, a small amount some weeks, zero amount some weeks.
And I didn't want to go to jail, basically.
So Hall quickly paid almost $3 grand in back child support. When Hall and his ex-wife were in Judge Lisa Millard's court last November, he owed nothing.
Opposing counsel testified twice that he's all paid up.
But the attorney representing the child's mother wanted Hall to pay her $3 grand in attorney fees, and Judge Millard agreed. Court documents also reveal Hall wasn't following the court's scheduled times to pick up his son, another modification he says he knew nothing about.
The judge ended up sentencing him to 6 months in jail.
When she said, remand you to the Harris County Jail for 180 days, my mouth just dropped.
This entire situation is shocking to me. I've never seen one like this.
Community activist Quanell X wants the state's judicial board to investigate.
The court failed the child. The court failed Mr. Hall. The system broke down.
I can't be there for my son in jail. I can't pay child support in jail. This is not in the best interest of the child.
Judge Lisa Millard says Hall walked out of court after he was found in contempt, which she says is a big no-no. Judge Millard also points out Hall's attorney could have filed a motion for reconsideration. She says that would have allowed her to hear both sides again and reevaluate the situation. Hall's attorney is now working on an appeal, and in a few days, Hall plans to turn himself in, and Don will, of course, keep everybody posted on how this plays out.
It really is a strange situation.
Very, very, very strange. I mean, it kind of shows that sometimes these things can be changed, modified. Maybe one parent doesn't know, but it's very confusing, and you've got to wonder how this man could go to jail for this.
We're trying to make it, baby.